In the world that we live in, there's so many quotes, there's so many books, there's so much good literature out there that we can get our material or our inspiration from. And one quote that I want to share that really, it was pretty profound to me, and it really had a meaning and it hit home, so to speak, was by Darren Hardy. He's the author of The Compounding Effect. Phenomenal book. I definitely recommend that you read it as well. It has a lot of great insight, a lot of great little tidbits, whether it's for your morning, afternoon, before you go to bed, to start the next day. And I want you to listen to what it was, and I want to ask you a question as well about it. He stated in this video, which was very controversial to what we've been told by every other public speaker, author, narrator from the beginning of time. And we're always told to envision our goals and think of the vision every day and where we want to be eventually, and how we're going to get there will come into play. Well, he broke it down piece by piece, which is brilliant in theory already, because of the fact that any task that you're really dealt with, it should be broken down piece by piece. This way you handle it and you're not overwhelmed. And Darren Hardy, this is exactly what he said happens to our brains. If we just decide to look at the end vision every single day, and we could be, say we're 18 years old and we're envisioning ourselves when we're 40. Now think about how long that process is and how far you actually are from achieving it. It may seem like you have eons and eons of miles to go to get there. So he says, do not do this. This is destructive, counterintuitive, it is ridiculous, he actually says. He says, every single day, focus on looking 1, 2, or maybe 3 steps in front of you every day. And keep looking at each step the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And this also goes back and relates to a phenomenal quote that I love, that I don't know who said it initially, is success is just the grandeur of these small events added up over time. And he says, if you do this and you practice this, he says, come November, December, the end of the year, don't look up. Now look down and realize how far you came. And he says that it will amaze you, because you don't realize the progress that you're making. You don't feel like you're doing any more work. But what you're actually doing is you're focusing on productivity and not just activity to keep yourself busy. So everything that you're doing, everything that you're practicing every day that's bettering your company, bettering yourself, you're doing it on a step-by-step basis and just knocking one thing off your list that you have to do at a time. And over time, you realize how small that list will become, or in relation to a staircase, how high you have climbed. And now I want to ask you, do you still go by the broad idea that we should be looking at our goals every single day, or just focusing on those 1 to 3 steps? Or are you already doing this? Because again, this is something that I just realized and I just discovered in one of his videos. And that's the point of constantly listening to anything that is self-improvement based, because you're constantly going to learn something. You're going to pick up something new every day. You could be farther along your journey than I am. But I want to hear what you guys have to think about that, because to me, I realized that's exactly what I was doing. And especially when you get in a rut and you realize that you're thinking the opposite. What happened? Where am I? As opposed to being so high in the staircase, you realize that you have to walk 3 miles just to get to the staircase, and you've fallen off course. And every day you're just crippled by inactivity because you're scared of how far you have to go. And then once I heard this, kind of put everything back into perspective, instantly. Darren Hardy, The Compounding Effect. Phenomenal book, I highly recommend it.